So I started dancing in 1984, and that was the year of the very first Head to the Hills. And I distinctly remember seeing the flyer out on the flyer table at the dance and thinking, oh my goodness, I like dancing, but a whole weekend of it? I can't imagine doing that.
I think he specifically recommended Camp Harlam as being approximately the right location for the community that we were pulling from, New York and New Jersey and Philadelphia. So Ellen Harrison and I drove up to see it, and we kept gasping at its beauty and how well it was kept and how many heated rooms and buildings there were that adults and kids could use.
We were kind of blown away because it was the first time that we didn't say to ourselves, oh, I guess we could. In fact, they actually had more than we needed. They had more available spaces we could have used for workshops, more available dance floors than we needed.
Just a wonderful discovery, and we immediately knew we wanted to come to Camp Harlam.
There's contra dancing, there's English dancing, there's couple dancing, there's singing workshops, there are music workshops, there are craft and art workshops that we often organize for children.
I think we used to probably have more contras. We certainly made a positive effort to bring in many more couple dances.
We've had a couple of techno contras late at night. We've done swing dancing late at night.
We were on a camping trip, and somebody, Cecily, said, why do we only go camping once a year and have a fire and we sing? And Martin Barber, who was on the trip, said, we can do that at Head to the Hills. So the next year he brought firewood all the way from New Jersey and a bowl to put it in, and we had a campfire, and that was a great success. So it happened again. And the next year he brought his stuff up, and there was no need to, because the camp had realised what a great success it had been. And they provided their very own fire pit.
And people go down and we sing and we tell jokes, and snacks come out of nowhere. Larry always brings prunes, passes around the prunes and the apricots because none of us is getting any younger.
The evaluations, if there's more contra, the evaluations say we want more English, and if there's more English, the evaluations say we want more contra, so there's always a balancing act there that happens from year to year.
Yeah, we always read the evaluations. It's funny, every year a whole bunch of them come from the same person, usually a famous contra caller. And we suspect they come from the children's tables, whereby now children means, I don't know, everybody under 30 and over about 10.
I love the fact that I grew up in the community, being young and going to classes, doing the plays, taking the Morris class, and then a few years ago I got to teach a class for the first time, and that was just so special. I got to teach singing class with Ceilidh, and just being in a situation where I could be in a leadership position where people actually came to hear and receive the knowledge that I could give was really, really special.
A long time ago, Richard Fisher, who lives in Princeton, used to get folks together at his house to read through wonderful Baroque and Renaissance chamber music. Some of us said, let's play it at Head for the Hills, because all of those folks were typically went to the weekend every year. We did that, and folks were pretty much blown away, and so that's become a tradition ever since.
Aunt Peggy every Christmas would give us some music-related thing that we never really needed or wanted. And so we would always save them from Christmas and take them to the auction. And somebody always wanted this music-related item that we didn't.
I was very much involved with doing a lot of skits for the Ceilidh, which is our, and we have it every Saturday night. It's a chance for people to show off or not their various talents in singing or dancing or telling a story or whatever. And we also had some funny skits, and it sort of awakened this, I didn't know I had this interest, or talent you might say, in putting on silly acts. And it's such a welcoming community that I felt comfortable doing this, and I brought in lots of other people to do these skits with me, and my daughter has been part of them. Other people's children have been part of them. We try to have we try to do something different every year, and bring in people to do different things. And it's always just a fun experience preparing for it and presenting it.
Yeah, so I've done a very large variety of untalented shows at Head for the Hills. I've been working with Larry, doing many of his plays on and off, some of which I think my children have been ashamed of, but that's okay, that's the way it goes. I've put on the children's plays. We did a version of Macbeth as a mummers play once. We did a play where I got to bring the whole Morris team on as bell wraiths. They were honest Contra dancers once who murdered somebody on stage. I forget who it was, so that worked out pretty well.
Well, my favorite thing that I've ever done with my family is the year that our family was in charge of the Ceilidh. We were the MCs for the Ceilidh. And we spent a long time working together to come up with a really special way of introducing each act, and we called it the Head for the Hills Home Companion. And Robert played piano, and Imogen and I played fiddles together for the scene with the powder milk biscuits. And Cecily, she was pretty young at that point, she was the sound effects kid. And we warned people to come on time because it started out with that iconic music on the piano, and people instantly knew what we were going to do. And it was so much fun. I just love that.
The dancing's good, the band is great.
A lot of saxes, if you like. Saxes.
Yeah, there's a chance to do a little swing dancing and other couple dancing, and it's just a very nice affair.
I love dressing up for the cocktail party every year. It was the one time of the year besides the cotillion in which I got to dress up and feel beautiful and fancy and wonderful. And I loved seeing all the adults dress up too, because that's not something you really get to see outside in the big real world.
When I first was going to come to Head for the Hills, Robert had been coming long before I was coming, and he was telling me about the different events and how there was a cocktail party, so you should bring something to dress up. And I didn't have any dress up clothes at that point. And so I went to a second-hand shop, and I was explaining to the people there that I was looking for a cocktail dress for a pretend cocktail party.
This one you can dress up if you want, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. The music is always great, because my husband's part of it. And swing dancing if you want, and lots of food if you'd rather just eat and enjoy listening to the music. So that's why it's not a real cocktail party. You don't have to worry about that. Lots of people bring stuff, so it's a great big variety of food. Hummus, cheese. I think Robert Lupton always brings smoked oysters.
There's shrimp, and there's cheese and crackers, and hummus dips, and
the famed smoked oysters. Don't forget
yes.
the smoked oysters. Maybe tinned smoked oysters, but still, we don't smoke them ourselves.
The difference for the Princeton country dancers is that we don't go out and hire really expensive callers from out of town. We use our local talent that we've always been proud of, and that way we can keep our costs down so more people can come to our weekend.
We have people who come as far away as Virginia, people come from New England who used to dance with Princeton, and this is their chance to come back and see their old friends and meet new people. And this applies to some of our young people. They grew up there, they kept coming every year with their families, then they went off to college, and they've continued dancing in college, but they always put it on their calendar and their agenda to make sure to come back for Head for the Hills because it's so important to them.
We almost always have at least 20 new people every year who've never been. We have it as a goal to make sure that those people are brought right into that family, and that they know that we're gathering downstairs late night, that we'll sing, we'll tell jokes. Sadly, the pranks have gone by the wayside, but that everyone is welcome to every part of it. whether it's scheduled or unscheduled. That, you know, at any point in the weekend, you have 10 close friends that you could be hanging out in the living room with, whether you knew them on Friday or didn't know them on Friday. And I think that's really important for who we are and what we try to do.
The very last afternoon dance is typically a combination of English and Contra dances. And by then we all sort of know each other much better than at the beginning, because there are always some new people who by that time have become friends with a lot of the people who've been there for years. And so the weekend is winding down, we're all already nostalgic for it, and the dances usually have very, very high energy. And the kids, some of whom have been at the evening dances, some of whom have not, that everybody at camp is there. And the kids are dancing with the adults and with each other, and there's often a big waltz in which there are group waltzes where, you know, 10 people are waltzing together, and people sometimes get very emotional.
There's this incredible feeling of community. People who've been there once, they just experience this amazing sense of community.
One of my favorite non-dance related memories from Head for the Hills is one year I remember Ceilidh, my sister, and I always had to go to bed early because our parents knew us and knew that we couldn't survive without enough sleep. So we went to bed and we were just getting tucked in, and all the other kids came running down the hallway in the lodge and banged on our door and threw open the door and said, it's snowing, you have to go outside. And I remember us begging Mom to let us go outside and see the snow, and she was like, no, you're in pajamas, of course you can't go outside. But just being included by the other young people, even though we couldn't go outside with them, was just so special and is so representative of the community there, even among the young people.
We have a lot of children at the weekend, and over the years we've watched these children grow up. You know, as has been pointed out, when we first started going, there weren't many children. They were just babies, and then they became toddlers, and then young people, and then teenagers. And this evolution, they've all been part of the community. We dance with each other of all ages, and we eat together. We have Ceilidh skits together. We swing dance together at the cocktail party. So it's a wonderful, multi-generational kind of experience where everyone is interacting together as part of a community. I regard Head for the Hills as my favorite weekend of the year.
I get the chance to say, I'm going away for the weekend with 150 good friends for a sleepover weekend where we get to sing and dance and play music and be together, and lots of fun.
There's a sense of a common view and a common place in the world that we've chosen to be part of, and Head for the Hills sometimes symbolizes that for a lot of us, I think.
And people are always so impressed and jealous, and they should come too. You should come too.
So come along, come back.
Yeah. Make it a family tradition or single tradition.
Or may start out single and make it a family tradition. And there are quite a few precedents for that.
Yeah.